So your students are asking you what to do with their strumming hand. I'm going to have a few options that we'll talk about today. Okay, so when students are brand new at playing ukulele and you're starting with the C chord and the A minor chord, I don't talk about strumming at all. I just model it for them because I want their focus to be on the muscle memory involved in learning these chords. That's my goal. So if you start talking about strumming, now their brain is divided and they're thinking about two spots at once, and they won't do either well. So I do have them use their finger, and if some complain that it hurts, then I say, well, then try the side of your thumb. But I like the finger better with the nail down, and then when we get to it, the pad of the finger is the up strum, but we won't be there for a long time. So for the first 3 or 4 classes, the students are just doing down strums on the beat, and they're focusing on getting the chord shape. So already you can get an assessment because the students are, demonstrating to you whether or not they can find the beat of the music. And that is one of the expectations you want to look for when you're assessing them. So there's a lot of little things, a lot of little steps along the way that you can use to assess the students. And this is one. So there's down strums on the beat. And like I said, using the finger or the thumb, I discourage picks. I'm not a fan of picks on the ukulele at all, especially plastic picks, because they can have a deteriorating effect on the strings over time, and then you're replacing strings, which is not a way you want to spend your Saturday night. So don't overthink. I don't want kids to overthink, try to think about 2 spots at the same time. I just want them to focus on the chords and then just do down strums on the beat. The next step, when they've got the first 4 chords mastered, C, A minor, F, and G7, then you can talk about down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. That is simply subdividing the beat. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and the and is coming up. You may have heard of the calypso strum or the island strum. It's a strum that is iconic for the ukulele and one that many people use. And it's transferable to many different songs and styles and situations. However, what I've discovered is that where people have the most difficulty is skipping beat 3. After you've taught them to strum down on each beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, the hard part is skipping that beat 3. So if they're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and to teach them or to help them understand that the ands are always up, then it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'll stand up so you can see. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the idea is getting them used to skipping that first half of beat 3. Once they've got that, then, then they can be a little freer with the other parts of the strumming. But that skipping the beat 3 and doing two ups in a row with a space in between, that is the hardest part of the island strum. Cynthia Lynn has a great video on it. The ukulelean, there's a video on calypso or island strum, and I'm sure Bernadette has one because she's very good also. What I'm getting at is The ostinato, O-S-T-I-N-A-T-O, is a repeated rhythmic figure. So when students listen to the piece of music and decide how they're going to play it, whatever they're going to play, they can create an ostinato that works for the song. The difficulty is, if you make it too complicated, then you can't sing and play at the same time. A little aside, I'll show you this. If you play an iconic intro, if you play an iconic intro like that, which is Sweet City Woman by the Stampeders, a Canadian group, once you start singing, if that pattern deteriorates and you revert back to your basic down, up, or whatever works for you, it could be a bit of a shuffle because that's what music sort of calls for, then the audience will forgive you for that because you've given them the iconic intro that they expect. And once they have that, then they allow you to take some liberties with the rest of the song. And if they're over 30, they might be singing along, and in which case they're not focusing too much on how you're strumming anyway. They're enjoying the song. So ostinato is a repeated rhythmic figure. That's whatever strumming pattern you choose. You can decide on one as a group and work on it, but it does take a lot of practice to keep a specific rhythm pattern all the way through. Calypso island strum is a really good pattern, but that takes practice. And so doing it every class for 30 seconds as, sort of like vitamins, then pretty soon they'll find that it's sort of second nature and they can do it. And I can remember when one of my students said, I just did calypso strum and I could sing at the same time. The first time I've been able to do both at the same time. So it will come, but calypso strum for grade 5s and 6s is down the road. It's quite a ways down the road. But the basic strumming pattern, when I do talk about it, is basic down strums on the beat, eventually subdividing with up strums between the beats, and then expanding it from there. I hope this was helpful. Take care and have a great day.